This week we're going to be working on this 8-inch Proto wrench. Hang tight, I've got a new product, something I got at a estate sale. We're going to see if it works. All right, I found this Proto adjustable wrench at an estate sale this past summer. And I found something else really cool at the estate sale that came along with it. It was this can. It was really weird stuff. Never seen it before. It says Professional Magic Wrench Spray, patented 2024. So I'm going to spray this on there and see what it does. Look at that. It grew the wrench to a 24-inch. Still says Proto Professional on there, but now it's a 24-inch adjustable wrench. Well, I hope you appreciate my little bit of humor there. All right, let's get started on this thing. Man, this is a cool wrench. It weighs just 1 ounce under 10 pounds. It's 24 inches. It's not in too bad a shape. The jaws are a little messed up. This side's not bad. It's just dirty, but this side I've got a lot of finish loss. So, man, this one's going to be a good candidate for a total cleanup. I'm going to get it sanded down and just go from there. So the first thing we want to do is get the nut out of here. I'm hoping that there's a screw head in there. I got to get this cleaned out. I'm not seeing. There's not a slotted head or anything in there, so hopefully we can access it from this side. Okay, it's almost like there's a point on this end. There's definitely not a slotted head in there. And this end, as you can see, hopefully, there's no screwdriver, slot, or anything. So I believe this is a drive-in pin. So I'm going to get a punch and see if I can knock it out from this side. Oh yeah. There you go. Now I got to get a smaller punch. I did not have a steel punch that was long enough and skinny enough to fit in the hole, so, well, look at that. It just came right out. I think some of that WD-40, or excuse me, the Magic Wrench Spray helped it come on out. There is a spring. Yeah, this thing's in pretty good shape. All right, time to start cleaning it up. All right, so these pieces here, I'm going to run through the ultrasonic cleaner real quick. And I tell you, Dale at Dale's Workshop was the first guy I saw doing this. I'm sure other people have been doing it, but I used to fill my entire ultrasonic cleaner deal up with water and then mix in the degreaser. And I have a pretty big ultrasonic cleaner, so I was going through a lot of product. And then Dale showed where he uses a Ziploc bag and just enough product to clean whatever it is you're trying to clean. So I bought these heavy duty bags off Amazon. They've got a flat bottom so they stand up. I'm going to give this a try and I'll let you know at the end of the video what I think of the bags. But this way you don't have to use a whole lot of water and you don't have to use a lot of degreaser. I use the Zep purple stuff. I think it works really well, but I'm sure other ones work just as well. But I'm just going to put a splash in there. I don't think it's going to take much. These seal really nice. Okay, I'll let you know how it works. The new Ziploc heavy-duty plastic bags for the ultrasonic cleaner worked really well. Everything came really clean. There is no dirt or grease inside these threads or teeth, whatever you call them. Okay, the dynamic jaw, I've got the damage here, and I was hoping that I would be able to straighten this out, but it's actually dented. So I'm going to get my file out. I'm going to see if I can clean this face up some. Clean this up. I'm going to be sanding all this down anyway. Clean all this up. I'm actually going to make it look a little better than it did new. Yeah, so that looks good. It's nice and flush. Grabbed 150. And I'm going to go across the way that I had the sanding marks before and see what it looks like. Now you can start to see those little divots. So that's where the unevenness is. So I'll probably sand until I get all those out. You know what? I should be doing this on my 1x42. All right, that's actually looking pretty good. So I think I'll just work through a few more grits with this and see how it comes out. I've run this across a wire wheel. Got it pretty clean, but now I'm going to use these little, I don't know, I just call them like plastic wire wheels for the Dremel. And I like to stack two of these together. Just seems to make them last a little longer and you cover a little more ground. So I had to get these cleaned up. All right, the dynamic jaw is done. That's as far as I want to take it. It's not perfect like a mirror finish, but I don't want it like that. I was able to get all the dings out of here, which I didn't think I'd be able to. So that gives me hope for the main part, the handle, which I'm going to start on next. And then the rest of this, again, this side's not too bad, but this side's got a lot of finish missing, whether, I don't know if this is chrome, nickel, or zinc, whatever it is. All right, that's a good start on the wrench body. I'm actually taking this thing a lot further than I had planned on. But when I was sandblasting, I noticed that there was more pitting than I thought, and then there was a lot of rough casting. So I just decided to get the grinder out with a 60 grit on it and take it down. I got a little more work to do here, but I'm going to end up sanding most of this by hand. I don't mind doing it. It's kind of therapeutic. And I have a lot more control by hand than I do on the belt sander or with the electric sander. So. All right, just to show you what I ended up doing here on the inside of the wrench, I went back and sandblasted this area, then cleaned it up with my scrubby wheel, little Scotch-Brite wheel. And then I blued over these letters that are recessed in, and then scrubbed that back off so that only the bluing stayed down in the recess of the letters. And that's how I'm going to finish the inside here. Well, I finally made it up to 2,000 grit, so I'm almost done with the sanding. I got one more process I'm going to do before I take this over to the buffing wheel. I'm just going to take some polishing compound. I've got a 2,000 grit foam pad. I'm going to work it in. It's got a little bit of grit in here, which will help take out some of those fine scratches. I don't know how well the camera's going to pick this up, but this part here was, you saw me polish it with the foam pad and the polishing compound. And this is after running it across the buffer with just a brown grit. I'm out of black, so I'm using brown. And I'll work up through probably 2, maybe 3 grits of compound on the buffing wheel. This stage is just about getting the smallest scratches out that I can. All right, now I'm going to move over to my other wheel. It's a little bit softer, and I'm going to go with the green compound and see if I can bring a little more luster out of the wrench. Hey, before I finish up the video on the 24-inch Proto wrench, I want to give you a quick update on my drill press from the video 2 weeks ago. So those of you that tune in a lot saw me finish up this Craftsman 150 mid-60s drill press, and I was frustrated with the spring return not working on the quill. And the next day, Jeff over at Jeff's shop posted a video of how to do this. It's part of his series of what he's doing with these drill presses. And a couple guys pointed me over there. I really appreciate that. I went and watched the video and saw how simple this was. I actually reached out to Jeff as well, and we had quite a bit of communication back and forth. And he explained to me that he went and watched my video and saw where I was holding up the parts diagram, which is what I used to take this thing apart and put it back together, that the instructions on how to tension the spring were contained in here. I just didn't read it. Anyway, I didn't want to show you how well it works now. It's perfect. It was an easy fix. Hey, thanks for hanging around the end of the video and putting up with my goofiness at the beginning of the video. Watching me clean up and I'll say restore this 24-inch Proto Professional Adjustable Wrench. This is probably the coolest wrench I own. I love this thing. It didn't come out perfect. There's still some little marks, some very fine scratches and a few pit marks still in here, but that's okay. I'm real happy with how it came out. So hang tight, and I will bring you in for some close-up pictures. And thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next one.